ever stop and think, wait, wasn't life much easier than this? It shouldn't take a calculator just to leave the grocery store. Let's have a real conversation. Check this out.
Me and my wife, we make we're in the middle class, right? Lower to middle class. And we have two kids that are under 2 years old. We both work full time, which is the problem, actually. I'll get to that. But we were getting quoted, have been getting quoted around $3,000 per month to watch our kids in daycare. And our mortgage is almost half of that. And so basically, we're left with about, I don't know, $1,500 to pay the rest of our bills and feed our family. And guess what? We don't qualify for any benefits or anything like that because we make too much. It's the worst predicament I've ever seen in my life. Like, what are we supposed to do? Honestly, I'm not trying to come off rude or anything, but I just don't understand how it's like this. We need some help, dude.
Okay, you got to listen to this. I went grocery shopping today, right? And I went in and I was looking at those little small, round watermelons, right? $9.99. Come on. Who's going to pay that? That is just insanity. My name is Andrea and I'm a retired grandma from British Columbia, from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. And the prices here are just insane. It's nuts. Another thing I looked at, that cranberry juice? It's like in a jar and it's kind of unsweetened. It's real cranberry juice. $14.99. Yeah, not happening. Not landing in my cart. No bloody way. And, those bouillon cubes? There's like 6 little tiny cubes in a package for making soup or whatever. $4.99. Yeah. Still not going to my cart. I'm going to go home with nothing. This is just insanity, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to make our way in retirement here, and we're just struggling like it's crazy. So that's the reason I started coming on TikTok to begin with, trying to find ways to make some money. Just follow me in my journey. I'd love to have you guys follow.
Understand that the cost of living is through the roof right now, but if we're going to be buying something for a higher price, it should be at least the same quality or better. Why is it that we're now spending more money to get shittier quality things? That means that these companies are getting it on both ends, telling us that they're increasing the prices because of the cost of living and supply chains and tariffs, but then they're also reducing the quality and shit. Like, I bought some fucking underwear and I can't even wear the fucking material. Is just like, price went up, the quality went down. So the company is making more money, better profit using shittier fucking supplies. And it's just fucked. All of this is fucked. Tell me I'm not the only one that's noticed. Walmart is the biggest fucking example of this. You used to be able to get your kids like something cute and cheap. Now, like the t-shirts feel different. The shorts feel different. They fade in like 2 wash. I don't know why people hate on that Geranimal shit. That stuff lasted for me. Why is it that I'm spending more money and everything's falling apart? Like,
how are we supposed to buy a house when my rent is going up another $195 a month? It has gone up $720 in 4 years for the same place that I live in. $8,640 a year more for the same place I lived in 4 years ago. I'm sorry, property taxes are not going up that much that landlords are charging that much more. We have to stop blaming the economy, the government, the president. It is greedy people taking more profits in. When people tell you just move somewhere else, why would I move to another state that's cheaper? Why should I have to uproot my family, lose my career, just to afford to live somewhere? You're implying people who live in where I live now don't deserve a fair shot at cost of living. And places with cheaper rent pay lower salaries. That's how this whole thing works for the most part. And my girlfriend's a teacher. Like, if she moves to a state with a cheaper cost of living, she might not even have a pension or her benefits anymore. Instead of telling the middle class to keep, looking somewhere cheaper, why don't you all align together and get people out of control that are doing this to us? You are always closer to being homeless than you are to being rich. Like, everyone just assumes one day they're going to get rich. And that's why they don't stand up for people just like them in the struggle right now. If not for the raise I got 4 years ago, I would be totally screwed. I don't even want to hand out or help. I just want things to not be so crazy expensive every year. Like, go buy pizza from where I work. Go buy my merchandise. I don't know. Not a handout, just advertising.
I saw this post where the guy said the bottom 60% of Americans can't afford a quality life. Basically, they're not able to really feed themselves and put gas to basic necessities, that they're maxing out their credit card. It then goes on to say, well, that's a nice way of saying the majority of Americans don't have a quality of life. And while I can agree with that, he said also the system is failing. Who put the system in place? People who keep voting the same people into office, right? That is where we need to take accountability for ourselves. We need to take accountability and learn financial freedom and literacy on our own, because the system, this is where he's correct, is broken, because the American education system teaches you to be a good girl and a good boy, sit down, be quiet, and ask for permission to do anything. Take your work home with you and do your work and return it. It doesn't teach you how to balance a checkbook, invest in stocks, etc., compound interest. It doesn't teach you that, because our American education system said, John D. Rockefeller, I need a nation of workers, not free thinkers. Think about that.
The cost of living is absolutely insane. You can't afford anything anymore. Every time you go to put gas in your car, you're paying more money for fuel that isn't going to last you as long. Go to the grocery store, forget it. More people are out here deciding to hit up food banks because groceries, basic human necessities, are absolutely unaffordable. There's people in their late 20s getting priced out of their homes, having to move back in with their parents because it's not doable anymore. There's people out here making the most money that they've ever made, yet they're the brokest that they've ever been. Even if you're making like $40 an hour, you're still just barely scraping by in this economy, and that used to be a good wage too. If you were making $40 to $50 an hour just 5 short years ago, you were able to easily get ahead. And then you wonder why we're all angry and on edge because we can't afford to buy a house anymore. We can hardly even afford Walmart anymore. Yet we're working our lives away, yet the reward isn't there anymore.
Even old white men in rural America are starting to recognize the cost of living crisis. Two of my coworkers on the worksite today were talking about the cost of supplies, specifically commercial paint. I want you to take a guess. How much do you think a single gallon, 1 gallon of commercial paint costs today? If you said around $100 for a single gallon of paint, you would be correct. That's for your standard paint. If you're looking at some epoxy-based paint, which is a little bit more durable, used for door frames, metal, outdoor settings, you're looking at around $350 to $500 per gallon. And the cost of all of these supplies, all of these things that are necessary for not only building new infrastructure, but also maintaining and updating our current infrastructure is only going to get worse as the war in the Middle East rages on, specifically with the fact that the Houthis have now attacked the only way that we were getting oil from the Strait of Hormuz out to the rest of the world, the east to west pipeline, which has been on fire for nearly 3 days straight now. And the cost of living is only going to further get strained and further increase because Ukraine and Zelensky have lost their goddamn minds and have tried to enter into the war with Iran in order to keep the United States supplying them with military support with their war against Russia, causing more disruption in trade routes, specifically through the Caspian Sea, which all these trade routes getting disrupted are only going to cause more distress, more cost of living increases for you and I.
I've just driven past a servo and diesel's sitting at $3.20 a litre. Fuel's getting up there, it's nearly $3 a litre. How are people affording to live? And the government is still taxing that high. Imagine if they dropped that tax, like how much we would save per litre. I'm sure with the millions, or billions, should I say, that they make a year, they can afford to drop it, even if it's for 6 months, just to help everyone out that actually has everyday lives, that drives to work, has to drive for their children or anything like that. I already know their families dropping after school activities and weekend activities and that for their children because they simply can't afford it. Easter this year will be spent sitting at home or close by because no one can afford to travel. There are families out there that are questioning when they're going to get their next meal, where they're going to get their next meal, where their money's coming from. Why can't the government help? Realize what's going on, drop the taxes of things, help families out. Bryce and I are very privileged and very lucky that we have well-paying jobs, but we have worked hard to get where we are. We still have a savings account that we can put savings in because we work our bums off for it. And there are so many people that do the same, but unfortunately they aren't in a lucky position like we are. And it's scary that there's people out there that can go days without eating, or parents are missing a meal themselves for the sake of their children eating because they can't afford to feed everyone. It's a scary scenario and a life that we are being put into. I just saw a video that said expect the grocery prices to go up even more because of the cost of transportation, because of the war crisis in Iran, and lack of fuel. The cost of fuel has gone up tremendously with gas, okay? Now the cost of our food is going to go up because of transportation of the food. Our grocery prices in Canada right now are already at an all-time high. Inflation is at an all-time high. Like, I have to pick and choose what I want to buy because everything is so freaking expensive. And I try to buy a bulk of things that are going to last me, that I can make numerous meals over, because that is the only way that I can afford to eat at this point. And now they're saying, on top of inflation of groceries, they're going to inflate and have a temporary surcharge even more because of transportation. Gas is at an all-time high, so if you want to go anywhere, going to cost you $1 million. We have to pay taxes. We have to pay all this money towards necessities to live now. God forbid you booked a trip and you want to go and fly anywhere. Airlines now are going to be canceling a bunch of flights because they cannot afford the fuel costs. They're also going to surcharge now and charge an additional, I think, $60, $70 a ticket because of fuel costs. And the prices of flights are going to go up so high that people are not going to be able to afford to fly. So if you want to actually go anywhere, if this war continues, you are not going to be able to travel or go anywhere. So you're going to be stuck and stranded where you are, and you're not going to be able to do anything. I was planning on having an Italian summer just for the first time in my life. And if this war does not get settled, we're all royally screwed. And I genuinely don't know how we're going to afford to live. The grocery prices are already unaffordable. The gas prices are already through the roof in Canada. Everything is already so unaffordable. We can barely get by. We're living paycheck to paycheck. So basically, to sum it all up, everything costs money. Even to breathe now is going to cost you money. And this is all thanks to the President of the United States.
I know you guys don't want to hear this, but we're fucked. We are so fucking fucked. And I know I cannot be the only one that recognizes that you need at least 2 people in your household to survive. They are crashing this economy. I don't even want to talk about Big Brother watching more and listening more than it ever has and what's going on with that. We cannot even have basic needs met: housing, vehicle, food, electricity. You cannot do this on your own. And if you do, good for you. But more that I see every day, we're fucked. People are living paycheck to paycheck. People are stressed. People are in pain. People are miserable. And I don't know what the fuck happened or how to fix it. But if you are a single person like me and you're watching this, I know you feel this. You cannot be a single household and survive out here and make it out here. You have to make a choice between rent and car payment, you know, food and rent. Like, what the fuck happened? And what are we going to do about it?
Cost of living, because of these fucking liberal parties, sorry for my language, it is absolutely disgusting how Canadian economy, cost of living, just a basic common sense, a grocery, people can't afford it. They have to cut down on few products. They have to just choose on what products that they really need to buy, not something extra at a grocery store. It is not normal for an adult can't afford just an increase of 40, 50, 60 bucks on their essential bills. And they have to cancel it. One of the shocking news that I hear often when my wife, she shares customer at her work can't afford a $35 of activation fee. Before she activates the service, she goes, ma'am, there's a $35 activation fee. They're like, oh, no. I'm sorry. I didn't know about the $35 activation fee. Credit cards max out. I have to wait a few days or next week. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way a customer can afford $35, $40 for one-time activation fee. She goes, yeah, here's another one. Here's another one. 2, 3, 4 times per week. It's insane. It is not normal. And you know what's not normal also? Can we agree, or can you agree, that the career, the path that you chose, the money that you chose to make, and if you can't afford a 50, 60 bucks of increase of any of your bill, and you have to cancel that activation or you have to cancel that service, doing what you're doing, it doesn't work. Because if it really worked, you could be able to save and have enough money for that $35 of activation fees, or be able to afford to pay your credit card or whatever that you're struggling right now. You wouldn't have to struggle. If you're in that situation, don't be shy. Come on my messenger or my Shaw. I'll share with you my business. I'm not gonna sell it to you. I'll share with you. Come see it. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's not for you. I don't know. But I'm willing to take the time to help you, for you to make an extra $500 or $1,000, and I'll show you a system that works since 1992, all over US, all over Canada. And on that note, have a wonderful day. Happy Mother's to everyone tomorrow. Whoever voted Liberals, even my phone's like, please don't say it. Whoever voted for the Liberals, go, please. I'm sorry, with all due respect, screw yourself.
I'm so fucking angry right now, and I'm sick of being angry. But the cost of living is, like, why are we not doing something about this? How do we stop it? Because I just made the choice. I have to choose between eating or my rent. I don't have food in my house, and I decided to buy myself some vegetables today because I thought that my Centrelink payment was going to be at least $10, because I fucked around for like 2 months getting a fucking payment approved. And now, I make too much money. I make too much money to get a payment from Centrelink. I'm still on Centrelink, but they're not paying me. And because I decided to buy vegetables, I can't pay my rent tomorrow. I don't know what to do anymore. I make too much money for Centrelink to pay me, but I don't make enough money to pay my rent. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Oh, I'll be fine. I always turn out fine. Like, I'm not that much under rent. I'm sure I could borrow $10 from someone. It's just like, I don't want to have to keep borrowing money. Oh. Like, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. I don't have time for a second job. I work mornings and afternoons every day at my current job. I know I could work weekends, but I shouldn't have to. It's just like, it's not fair. People always want to tell me I'm being irresponsible, but I haven't bought myself something I haven't needed in like 6 months at least. I have a cat. I have to take care of him. People tell me, oh, you should have a pet if you can't afford it. Bro, he's been with me for years. I shouldn't have to be expected to give up everything I love just to send all my money into a fucking millionaire. I don't understand it. And I know it's not just me. I know that almost everyone my age is struggling right now. That makes me even angrier. Anyway, that's my rant. I know I look ugly right now, but I don't care. I'm just so angry. And, like, yeah, I just wanted to vent.
How are people holding up in this economy? Because the economy right now is bizarre. It's trash right now, garbage. I don't know if it's the dope, I don't know what it is. How there's not an uproar about this. Like, everyone's just taking it easy. And if they do have jobs, the jobs don't pay. How are you guys surviving on $7 an hour, $12 an hour, $11, and especially in the South? Let's not even talk about the cities. How are people getting by? The credit card rates must be through the roof. This is why I'm a huge supporter for Medicare for all, child care for all, raising the minimum wage. Forget raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. It needs to be at least $25 an hour, except for small businesses. But those major corporations, you could pay at least $25 an hour. You can't say, oh, it's going to cause the economy to crash. But at the same time, prices and everything is going up. Wages remain stagnant. The federal minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. Like, I just don't understand why people don't cause an uproar about this or is upset or angry. I'm going to be honest. Everyone cannot be celebrities. Everyone can't be entrepreneurs. You need consumers, right? Is it gatekeeping? People don't want people in certain industries. They're keeping certain people out. Because I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, I had to take a little break. And I'm just here thinking, like, what is really going on? People are suffering. People are working 2, 3 jobs because they're minimum wage jobs. Life happens, people. I'm not judging no one out here in these streets. Life happens. Life happens. You could be up today and down tomorrow. I ain't judging no one, especially people who are trying to better their lives each and every day. But here, create more affordable housing. Create government supermarkets to compete with the private supermarkets. It's all about competition, right? Make universities more affordable. If you don't want to give tuition free or college free, make universities more affordable. There's no way public universities should be charging 6 figures for an education.
A lot of people are at their absolute breaking point. They might not tell you, you might not see it on them, but a lot of people are this close from crashing out. And I mean, really crashing out. As hard as we work, it feels like as soon as you get one thing, as soon as you get one little opportunity going, you got a little bit of money coming in, you're doing good, boom, something happens. I had a really, really good paying job last year, and a bunch of people were telling me, "Oh, you need to stop having roommates. You need to go get your own place. You need to do this. You need to do that." Okay. Well, I knew that stability coming from one income source is not going to cut it. If my entire livelihood depends on how somebody feels one day, then why would I want to go sign up for an apartment on my own? Why would I want to go, and I've lived on my own before, but in this economy, if you want to save, if you want anything, if you want any semblance of a future, rent is going to wipe that out. If you don't have a really good paying job, a lot of people can't even afford rent on their own. And we just need to stop acting like this is not happening. Why do so many people just seem to la di da di da? Everything's rosy over here. Y'all just need to work harder. Really, bro? Because last I checked, you're 15 grand in debt. You just bought a $50,000 truck and you work 60 hours a week. What kind of life are we living, guys? I know we need to contribute, but our contributions should benefit us. We shouldn't be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and then all of it disappears. Are you kidding me? This is the system. This is the best we can do on this planet. There's no way. There's no way so many people are just like, well, this sucks, but it is what it is. Why? Why is it this way? It's because you guys don't want to come together. Guys, we have to come together. There's no other way out of this. We have to have working class solidarity. There is no other way out of this. If you guys want to just keep living on a loop, then just scroll on. Get out of here. And I'm just tired of these people that have given up hope that we can change. We have changed in the past. Look at history. History tells us what to do. We need to come together. We need to hold our leverage, and we need to stop working as long as we have to bring this country to a halt. If you don't want to do that, I get it. It's hard. There's a lot of other things we can do. We can have community. We can help each other out, like trade services. There's a lot we can do. I'm not an expert on what we can do, but if we're not even able to take the first step, then what are we doing, guys? Did we really just give up? Did we really just say, well, they sold us out. Our future's gone. Everything sucks, but I guess this is what life is now. Are you kidding me? There's so many things about this country specifically that are the biggest scams, and healthcare is honestly the biggest one. How is it that so many people don't want universal health care, even though it would overall be cheaper to have universal health care? Why is it that people cannot grasp the concept that, yes, we may have lower taxes, but when you spend so much more on private coverage, paying a little bit more in taxes to cover that is going to lower your cost overall? Now, I'm not one to advocate for higher taxes in a country where our taxes don't do anything for us, but if taxes do things for us, then we should want programs that help everybody. And honestly, even in most countries with universal health care, wealth inequality is a big thing there too. The housing markets are going up and up and up in a lot of countries, and wages aren't. This is happening in so many places, guys. We're getting squeezed out right now. The working class is getting squeezed out, and we have decided that that's okay, that we are just going to let them do anything and everything they want. And we're just going to sit there and show up and go to work and keep giving them our life, our souls, our money, our future, everything. And I'm just done, guys. I'm done. I have worked so hard my entire life, every single day. I basically never even had like dedicated times to go hang out with friends. Like, yeah, I did every now and then, but if you look at my friend groups, I see them all the time. Oh, yeah, out with the bros, out doing this. And that's cool. That's cool. But I have dedicated my time to bettering myself, to getting ahead. And it seems like the world is full of vultures, and it's full of really, really good people too. I just got back from West Virginia and I got a ton of help from really good people. But the only reason I needed help is because I put in so much work, just in my case, in the past 2, 3 weeks for somebody, and they didn't pay me. You know what I mean? And when we're in a system like this, where somebody can just stiff you like that, and your life force is connected to them paying you, what do you do? What do you do when you put in so much work for somebody, you know, hundreds of hours on projects, and they're just like, I don't really care about that, bro. Sorry. Like, that should be illegal. This whole system is a scam.
I'd love to hear your perspective because everybody's story is different. Tell me what you miss about the way life used to be. I'll catch you in the next Real Talk. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and make sure you follow for more videos. Happy every day.